get going. Today's November 9th. I'm going to do your reading for the week. First, I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Crystal Mandala Oracle. We'll read them at the end. You can pick yours. I feel like there's going to be if it hasn't happened already, a pop in the energy, right? Like something ending, feeling like the you can breathe again. I like to pay attention to when my drains get clogged, and they've been slow. So we unclogged them this week because they got to like a really bad point. And after I did it, I could also feel like in my own energy, just a sort of different vibe. Today, sun is out, super shining, feeling a little bit more myself. So I hope the same is true for the rest of you. I do believe that if not, it's possible at this full moon, there's going to be an energetic shift. Oh my God. All right, so there's our card for the week. I'm not lying. When I was shuffling this deck before, it came out 2 times. So this is your card. So as I said, there's some sort of like nice creative vibe, like feeling that sort of light again that comes from you, that is starting to emit. Now, so we have talked about not hiding your light. It may have been difficult because the energy has been very oppressive. I think you're going to start feeling like you're emanating the right vibes again, or good vibes again. Feeling a little bit more connected to the universe around you. Feeling a little bit more inspired also. Can I get a card for Aries week of November 9th, please? Energy for Aries week of okay. Ooh, nice. These are really, yeah, so I can feel it. Like I said, I feel like the energy's shifted a little bit. I think we're going to start seeing, blue skies again. Things have been very gray for a little bit, but I do think that we're going to start seeing them from a different level, maybe seeing a break in the clouds. It doesn't mean that the clouds are going to completely go away. You see they're still there, but sometimes it's, I don't know if you pay attention to sunsets. There's those sunsets that have no clouds that are like perfect, but then the ones with the clouds, the reflections off the clouds actually they make the difference, they make it unique and they make it unusual. Now, it's interesting, these two, because the Sabians in our full moon, and I'll do a separate reading for that this week, talk about clouds in the sky and curtains being pulled back, revealing a woman. Now, you may have remember in the other readings, we kept getting that mysticism card about a woman's, the shape finally being revealed from the clouds. So it looks to me like something is going to get clearer this week. It looks to me like we might be feeling like we can finally breathe again. Maybe some form of inspiration. You see the presence of the moon in both of these cards. It just looks like, things are starting to lift a little bit. They're not as heavy. That said, looks like a great week to tap into your creative energy. Look for inspiration, but even, this is funny because I'm a 45-year-old woman, but I do love my pop stars. And I was thinking about like Selena Gomez, Louis Capaldi, Adele, The Cure, so many bands. We have breakups and we just suffer in pain, but they are able to write something beautiful that most people can connect with as a result of their pain, right? And those songs or artworks become successful because they speak to a universal energy. So one of the themes that's been coming up is, how do we take our own experiences, right? Because that creative vibe is coming to her, but it's also coming from her. It's something that she has in her hands to offer to the rest of the world. So there's the way we can transmute our pain and our experiences, much like artists do, is to turn them into products, experiences, communications, creations that other people can connect to, and can identify with. And together, it's like sort of a joint healing. And, you know, it's because this new Selena song that she just wrote, which is clearly about a narcissistic breakup, is her first #1 single. So when we write those things that come from ourselves and we put ourselves out there and we share our pain, because remember we have Chiron going through Aries, that's really where we can connect with others, you know. Can I get the challenges for Aries, please, for the week of November 9th? Challenges for Aries. For that. There it is again, letting go. So how to take that drop and let it fall into a bigger ocean. You know, how do we make something, how do we transmute those tears into shared universal experiences? So for those of you who are artists, creatives, or just communicators, you know, there is an opportunity to offer your gifts, your experiences, things that you may even, you know, you might not be wanting to share, but in letting go of it, releasing it so that it goes into the ethers, you actually, that's like sort of where the alleviation comes from. Because you see these cards kind of go from the water to the smoke, and they rise up to the ethers. So there's this sort of transformation process that can happen through the process of letting go of the tears that we have from the past and letting them sink into a universal ocean. We actually rise up into something bigger than ourselves. All right, let me get some cards here. Can I get 3 cards for Aries, please? 3 cards for Aries for the week of November 9th. Now, if you're not interested in, what do we have here? Tower. Okay, that may be where we've been feeling before. Knight of Wands. So renewed passion, renewed energy, moving towards something different. And ta-da, 2 of Cups at the end. What are we sharing? What are we exchanging? What's this exchange that we can have with another person, you know? And like I said, it's a transmutation of energy, of taking this pain, transmuting the pain into something that we can share with other people. Because the one thing we all have in common, it doesn't matter if you're rich, it doesn't matter if you're poor, it doesn't matter what race you are. We've all been here. Every single one of us. This is the one thing that unites us all. We've all experienced the pain of existence. And so there is an opportunity, even if it's just on, you know, it doesn't have to be on a universal level. It can be on a one-to-one level. But there is an opportunity to exchange with another person, which will allow us to connect to this sort of creative, universal creative spirit and make us actually feel lighter. That in the process of exchanging, both of us, what's in our cups, we get here. And look, these are the 2 twos. Love it. They're both 2s, right? So it's in the exchange that we become sort of our higher selves, right? And it's about what we have to offer. Now, again, as I said, that offering doesn't have to, if we're not all painters, we're not all writers, we're not all this, but you do have something, a passion, something that gets you sort of fired up that you have to share. And so this week I would invite you to find someone to share it with, whether that be online, whether that be a friend, whether that be an actual creative project. Move into the two. There's single people here. There's this sort of like, we both got knocked out. We all know what it means to come from this energy. But we also are Aries, and we're resilient, and we move forward. And the way we move forward, it looks like, is through this sort of creative process, right? He's got the wand in his hand. She's got her crystal, which is interesting that I picked these. So there's something that we have to offer, this power, this passion, this energy that wants to be shared this week. And in that process of sharing our energy with someone else in an exchange, we're able to shift that energy out of the tower and into something else. I'll be right back. That's Amazon. Okay, sorry about that. So let's get a card for, hold on. Let's get a card for our energy for the week. Give me a card for the energy, the recommended energy for Aries for the week. Recommended energy for Aries for the week of November 9th. There we go. Oh, I got two. So, Dragonfly Spirit, Truth Transcends Illusion, and Lizard Spirit, Dream the World into Being, which I'm pretty sure we got this one last week, if I'm not mistaken. That one is a double 2, so that's interesting. And then this one is the 11. So, sorry. So we have a 2 and an 11, both master numbers. So like I said, I think this is, and here's our 2s. I think this is a good week, right? So the Dragonfly, let's read these real quick. This one I'm pretty sure I read last week, but I'll do it again. I'll just do the key messages here. Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as a dragonfly catches your eye with its reflective wings and body, Dragonfly Spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion, okay, and recognize the insights that come seemingly from out of nowhere. That's this, right? So there may be some sort of understanding of this tower moment, right? That you may be starting to be able to see a situation from a different point of view as you let go of it and transmute that energy. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses, and there's a deep knowing that you're not separate or alone. That's what connects us, right? For a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate as you realize you are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirit who shares their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to have the experience it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay attention to the signs now. They remind you that each of us have inspired dreams sewn into the fabric of the invisible world, and there is a great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces guiding us on our journey. open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights your conscious mind overlooks. So that's interesting. So like I said, there's inspiration to be had. It seems to me like the inspiration also sort of comes from the dark. There cannot be light without dark. There can't be dark without light. So looking for, and you see how that tear sort of like glistens, looking for in that which we have identified maybe as the pain or what was brought down, where do we find the creative truth in that situation? What has it brought us to know more about ourselves, more about humanity, more about that which we hold dear, that which we're willing to fight for? And that which like kind of just makes us get out of bed in the morning. Let's read this one more time, and then I'll go to the crystals. Okay. When was the last time you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream, to imagine, there it is, what might be and who you might become? Lizard spirit appears when you are called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you're willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. What might come into being if you were to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allowed yourself to dare to believe in the impossible, making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you co-create with spirit? Give in to the power of imagination, and soon your dream will become clear. The steps will reveal themselves, and what was ephemeral will begin to coalesce into form. Dream it and be it. Spirit asks you to dream big. Okay, so this is all these messages have been really tight for the last few weeks. It's like, again, for those of us who are in creative fields, for those of us who have creative expressions, there is something within our minds and hearts and creative ability that will connect us with others in our passion, that connects us with others, that helps us transmute these energies, or perhaps these energies brought us to an awareness of what they are. We are being asked to tap into those creative messages because what we have is to be shared. Someone else is looking for that cup that we have to offer. Whatever it is that we have to offer that we may not even think is important, we may not think much of that stone, but actually to someone else it's rather important. So you have something to share. The cards are asking us to believe in that you have something. So trust those whispers that come into your ear, telling you which direction you want to go, telling you where you're headed, what you care about, what you're worth fighting for, which way the path forward is. Those are divinely inspired, and they will help you move forward from a place of tower and into a place of equanimity, of shared interaction, of all of us sharing. And what we have to share, again, it doesn't have to be on a macro level. It can be on a micro level. That's really what's coming out here, is that even if you think you don't have anything that anyone wants to hear, that's not true. There is definitely someone who wants to exchange cups with you, but it can't be done if you don't put yourself in a position to do it. And so that is the process here of taking this out of sort of the mental realm and into the physical. Taking this too from up here into the real world. And also taking this sort of dark energy. You see how these two cards both turn into blue, So this, and that's the 8 blue there. So that's sort of the process now. And that which you have to offer, someone else is ready, willing, and anxious to receive it, charging in to come and get it, actually. But you have to be willing to let it come out, right? If you don't open up and share, no one else can receive it. Okay, let's read these cards now. Let me get the book here. If you have picked this one, you have received the goddess Persephone and Ruby, the inner queen. Very, very nice. Let's read that. That is a number 50. So 5. So, turnaround moment. Sorry, taking long. I won't read this whole thing because it's really long. So this stone says, we bring you the empowerment of the inner queen. The inner queen exercises authority through divine feminine wisdom. Her empowerment is active within men and women that consciously seek to honor feeling, instinct, and intuition, and live their lives according to a moral code of compassion. When the inner queen stirs within, judgment is replaced with empathy for your own suffering and that of others. So these are all themes that we've been talking about today. You can understand that human beings who cannot resolve their suffering will unconsciously act out their pain in the world. They are unconsciously expressing their inner story with their outer actions, the story of their inner pain. The healing power of the inner queen brings inner pain to consciousness where it can be finally released and the soul freed. Oh my God, it's like literally what we were talking about. This can happen because of her compassion. She does not approach life with a fearful or judging nature, so she can move freely through all realms, witness great pain and darkness, and remain centered in her heart, shining a gentle light of intention for the liberation from suffering for all beings. She reminds us of our innate divine dignity and the healing power of our compassion. Very, very powerful. Let's do this one. This one is Ascended Master El Moria and Blue Star Sapphire, Higher Will. And this is a 2 card. So there we are with the 2s again. Let me just pull this up. And I'll read that piece for you. And if you've picked these cards, so if you have a ruby or ruby red, that's sort of your color and your channel for the week. This one will be a blue sapphire. So if you have anything blue, or if you have blue stones, this is sort of your vibe for the week. Now it says, we bring you the blessing of higher will. There is a great plan of earth, and the fulfillment of your divine destiny is included. Sometimes it may seem hard to trust in higher will, yet if you do, it can bring a feeling of great relief that you don't have to have all the answers or be in control for everything to still work out beautifully in your world. Surrender empowers you to get on with life and trust that all is happening exactly as it should, according to a greater intelligence and love. Sometimes, however, the mind wants to control the higher plan. It wants to decide when something should happen and how and with whom and in what way. It might convince itself that this personal opinion is actually the higher plan itself, and then feel betrayed, frightened, or confused when things don't go according to plan. The mind can be a great ally on the spiritual path, but it needs to be given reassurance and regular compassionate reminders that although it is powerful, it is not privy to the workings of the entire universe, right? So if you're here, might not understand that it's actually this at work. Nor does it need for you to be happy, free, and manifest, nor does it need to be for you to be happy, free, and manifesting your divine destiny. This oracle comes to you now because the mysterious workings of higher will are at work in your life, and you will find peace and even awe as you relax your mind and choose to trust now. Very nice. Let's do the last one. Also blue. So this is 30. Ascended Master, White Matthew, and Dan Bright. Original Self. Okay, give me a second to look this up. Okay, we bring you the blessing of the original self. As you progress through your life, learning and growing, you gain wisdom and strength. You grow more radiant and authentic, true to who you are. And as this happens, many of the layers of identity begin to fall away. What you once believed yourself to be is shown to be not much more than clothing your soul wore for a time. You have outgrown it. It is no longer a good fit. It constrains too much, doesn't reflect your personality, vibrancy, uniqueness, and beauty. So you discard it. Perhaps you are able to be more spiritually naked. The sense of who you are becomes simpler. You are just you. Others may or may not get you, but nonetheless, you are still just you. You are freeing yourself from the projections of others, of the world, and simply living as your original, radiant, divine self. And that's interesting because that's like getting to the truth of who you are and what you have to offer, and being okay to share that in sort of, a new vest with different clothes because those other clothes were taken off. Okay, cool. So hope that was useful. I've done this actually, I think it's cool, but you'll tell me. I did an astrological overview of what's going on in the sky, but using the tarot cards as the planets. I'm going to post that on Monday, and then on Tuesday night, Wednesday, I will do the full moon reading. Okay? Take care. Have a lovely week. These cards look great. I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.